No,
First,
it's not set in stone, but just,
I want to hit the doors first. I want to get the security as quick as possible. Maybe address some of the tennis court projects. Those are pretty straightforward in terms of design. Look at some of that. Basically hit the security and the safety. Some of the science labs, the cafeteria. That's going to take more meetings with the end user, meeting with the science chair, the science teachers. That'll take a little bit more to design. So that'll be scheduled for really the summer of '24.
go ahead.
Go ahead, Aiden.
You mentioned the bell curve, correct? Over time, you said that you would be paying more as the bell curve goes on, as once it reached the top of the bell curve.
No, I mean, good question, and thanks for bringing that up, because if that wasn't clear, it's a good one. That's how the money's going to. That's how the project is going to get done. That's how the money's going to be spent, right? He's talking about starting off initially with a little bit, and then really the majority of the work is going to be done in the 24, 25 year. And so that's what I meant. It's like, this is how the money's going to be spent. It's really going to ramp up, but the impact is just felt over time. So it's just a portion in terms of the impact to the taxpayer paying for it also kind of ramps up. But then it just then it'll just plateau. It doesn't keep going from there.
Is that highest impact the 0.025 that you mentioned?
Yeah, right. That's
the highest
right.
impact.
Exactly.
Okay, just curious.
Yes. Yep. Good question.
I have a question too about, it was mentioned about assessed value of our homes versus the market value. And I think that's an important thing for people to understand, the difference of that, the impact is based on the assessed value and not the market value.
Right. So the city, the county, they have their own kind of way of doing things, and this is not just here; it's everywhere in the state. But that's what the assessor's office does. They give an assessment based on your home, and you see that on your tax bill. That's how you know when you can actually grieve your taxes, because you see that amount, and it shows what the market value is. And if you think that amount is more than you can actually sell your house for, that's when you go and try to grieve your taxes. But that doesn't necessarily, that particular example. And that's that number is used times the tax rate to figure out how much you pay in taxes. But that particular example doesn't necessarily mean that's what the house can be sold for. It could be more or less than that amount. Obviously the market fluctuates, but the county tries to, and the city tries to kind of keep it, fairly level and not just react to all these, gyrations in the market.
So to clarify that, if I have a house that's assessed at $475,000, and I put it on the market today,
Right.
Most likely I would get
Probably
more than
more than that.
$475,000.
Yeah.
So it's not what the realtor says your house is
yeah,
valued
definitely
at.
not. Definitely
You really
not.
need to look at your
Right.
assessed value
Yeah.
on your tax bill.
Yeah, that's how it's figured. The tax rate in that .025, that's based on the tax. That's the impact. Really, what that is an impact to the tax rate. So you take that times the assessed value, and that's how you the first three digits of your assessed value, and that's how you figure out what
Okay.
the impact is.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's a little confusing. But
Maybe we should move on to,
Okay. All right. So Aiden, you're nodding your head as he's doing the presentation, and I know we spoke about it, so is there anything you'd like to ask or talk about? Just turn on your microphone and lift the top of, yes, perfect.
I would like to say thank you, Dr. Rihanna and Mr. Nadell, Mr. Grillo, for giving those amazing presentations. I wish I was here when these were being done. It's a shame that I'm graduating now, but I would like to start off by saying good evening, Board of Ed and Glen Cove Staff Directory and citizens of Glen Cove. I would like to thank Dr. Rihanna again and the rest of the board who provided me with this great opportunity to speak on behalf of the student body. It is truly a privilege to be able to voice our opinions and concerns to those in authority regarding the status of Glen Cove High School. I ran as senior class president in efforts to raise school spirit while acknowledging the ideas and opinions of my fellow classmates. That's why I'm here right now. Because to me, school spirit is more than just dressing up 1 week a year to celebrate homecoming. It is the ability to be proud of attending Glen Cove High School every single day. Both of my parents are proud Glen Cove alumni. My father graduated in 1982 and my mother in 1988. They sent me to the school confident in its ability to give me an exceptional education. However, when they visit the school, they make lighthearted jokes about how the building hasn't changed since they graduated. But this isn't a simple joke to the students and myself. This is our reality. As I walk around the school, I sometimes think to myself, why do we still have 2 cafeterias, which were implemented in the past solely for purposes of segregation? Why do the water fountains continuously have a red light indicating that the water filter needs to be replaced? Why don't all the boys' bathrooms have mirrors like the girls? Why does the main sports field consistently get wrecked and muddy after it rains, not allowing athletes to perform to their best ability at home games? Why is our school outdated? I think the answer to these questions are obvious, and that is a lack of funding. Nonetheless, it is extremely evident that Glen Cove has amazing teachers, staff, sport teams, music programs, academics, etc. Therefore, we should prioritize having the infrastructure that reflects our great school. This bond is extremely vital for the future of Glen Cove and its students. Not only will it provide future students with the resources and opportunity to succeed in their athletic and academic careers, but I believe it will inspire and instill school spirit into every single student, allowing students to be proud of attending a school like Glen Cove every single day.
Thank you very much, Aiden. I appreciate that. I'm so glad we have you here with us at the table.
Thank you for this opportunity. Appreciate it.
Our pleasure. So I think maybe we should move on to public questions and comments on agenda items only. If anybody wants to ask a question, you just need to come up here to Teresa and sign in. And you can ask questions at the mic. Please take no more than 3 minutes so we have time for everybody to participate. Thank you. Is there the hand mics that somebody has? Oh, there.
Good evening. My name is Susan Yazewski, 45 Sugar Maple Lane, and I'm very happy to be here tonight and to listen to the ambitious goals to improve Glen Cove, and also to see the student representative here on the board. In looking at this handout now for the goals, you're mentioning measures, a lot of measures, but you need to put some data behind it. For instance, if you're going to want to improve something, your goal is to improve academics, let's say. You measure that the measures are the students' ratings in the 3rd and the 8th grade exams. So what data do we have as where we are now? And so by the end of the year, 2023, what's your goal to improve? So you know what your achievement and how successful you're going to be with all these measures. And you should have that for all of them. And all of the projects now that you're going to be working on, all of the projects should be supporting your goals. And I'll just stick with the academic part of it, let's say to improve students' excellence. So look at all the money that you're spending and what projects you're going to do, which ones you should mark critical, must have, and which ones are nice to have. So then all the projects should be improving and making your goals satisfied. And you have to have all of this alignment and to show that it's going to work. in order to be successful with all of your projects and to achieve all of the wonderful goals that you have. One of the things that was not mentioned here by the architect or the financial advisor, we are in a recession. Inflation is here. The interest rate is 8.3, going up daily. So have you figured that in as far as what the cost is going to be? Thank you. Will this disappear? No.
Yeah, you could leave that there. In regard to the data and the comparisons and where our goals are in each of the subject areas, we will have various presentations that will show our baseline of where the students are at the start of the school year or at the end of last school year, and where we project our students to grow statistically significant growth in that year. And we will be presenting that in presentations all through the school year. In regard to projects supporting our goals, there have been a number of meetings over the last, I would say, 3 years, maybe a little bit more than 3 years, that spoke to what the goals were for our district, both academically, in the arts, as well as in our sports and our athletics. What our students need to keep focused, to stay on that straight and narrow, to do well and achieve and go beyond. And we have constantly gathered data about our graduation rate and where students are moving after graduation, so that we can better support their programs throughout their career in Glen Cove, to give them the skills necessary to be successful as they transition to career or college. We want to continue that trend, and actually it's more than a trend. We started 10 years ago with a 74% graduation rate. We are at 90%. And we are at 90% because our students have the ability, because we have to look at all aspects of student learning, and that as a community and as a school district, our administrators and teachers come together to look at how to best support our students, provide them the skills necessary, mature those skills, as well as give them guidance as they move forward. The number of colleges that our students are at the very least applying to has become a more a higher standard. Our students are believing in themselves and are showing us that they're challenging us on a daily basis. We again look at all aspects of student learning, so we will be looking at individual tests as well as group tests, Regents exams, AP exams, state assessments, as well as formal assessments that are given by teachers in their classroom on a daily basis. Ways for us not only to say that child is or isn't achieving as they should, but what can we do, because we've identified skill areas within that data and within that information that help us to guide our professional development for our teachers, help us to understand where to emphasize certain curriculum. And as we are moving to the next generation standards, both in all areas, the State Ed Department provides us those next generation standards, but also what's called crosswalks, going from the current curriculum to the new curriculum, and how best we can serve them. I have to just take a moment and say, about 8 years ago, we started with a STEM program, and that STEM program was once a week, every other grade. And it was not inclusive of our kindergarten or first grade, because we waited to see if this was going to be the right thing for them. I have kindergartners that are doing research projects that amaze me as we walk in and they provide us the information that they provide. So I have to say that, Aiden, I do agree with you. Our programs are exceptional, and they grow with each generation that comes through. It is our responsibility to move our curriculum to meet the needs of the students as they graduate and to provide them the foundations that are necessary. We need the facilities to ensure that they are in a safe environment and that it supports and is reflective of the programs that we provide our students. And so for that reason, we have done what we can, both at some of our elementary buildings. We have looked at ways through state and federal monies, stimulus monies, to provide environments for our students over time. We continue. This is not the only thing we need to get done, but we do all go into the high school. Our safety measures across the district, you've seen some of the doors that were pictured here. I will invite anyone to come, and we will, because we don't let just people walk through our buildings, we will actually schedule tours if that's what it takes. But these are not just isolated instances. We need to upgrade our doors, our security systems are locked down so that we would never experience a tragedy. And so again, I think that the board has done an exceptional job of their priorities, understanding that it is a time that is not financially prudent to go to a bigger bond to address other areas. But I think that we are taking each budget, doing what we can, using cost savings through the energy performance contract to take care of some of the other issues that are maybe behind a wall, the electrical systems and the upgrades that we need to get done, the solar and other options that we have discussed and approved, and I thank our boards, past and present, for supporting that. So I understand, I agree, we have to look at the data and we have to look at the priorities of our students. And we've done this for at least the time that I've been here over the last this is my 10th year, but it's time that we move forward. And so I thank the community for passing our bond referendum, our capital projects, allowing us to take money out of capital reserve this past year. We will be taking care of some renovations at Daisy and Landing, but this here is something, this bond will meet all our building safety needs, at least all buildings safety needs, as well as providing a high school that your parents could be proud of, Aiden. But that also meet the needs and are reflective of the programs that we have and the opportunities that we can provide our students.
Are there any other questions
Any other comments?
or comments?
She also, should we address the inflation thing?
I'm sorry?
I believe that the architect and they took into account inflation when coming up with these numbers, correct?
Well, in terms of the finance, in terms of the finance, well, first of all, it's going to be financed over a 3-year period, right? So, it's not just what current market conditions are, but it's what the market conditions are next year, the year after, and then the year after. So, things can, change wildly, in those next 3 years. So what we do is, and we use in our assumptions, we try to be conservative, of course, because, right now, 15-year bonds, and what's going to happen is, let me take a step back. What's going to happen is and a bond and a loan are the exact same thing. We got to borrow money and we're paying it back. And so when it is time to go borrow the money, it's done on what we call a competitive sale. You can go on our website, munistat.com, and all the bonds that we've sold over the past, several years even, are posted up there. It's all, public knowledge. And so what we do is just take comparable sales, and bonds, 15-year bonds right now, about 3.5%. So we use 4% in our assumptions for all the bonds, for each of the 3 years. One of the other things that we did is to try to be conservative in the assumptions is state building aid. We said that about 33% of it is going to be aided. 43% of the state's the school district's building aid ratio, what we call, so the reimbursement rate from the state is 43% of eligible costs. So there's nothing in here that wouldn't be eligible. But again, we just try to kind of try to work some things into it to make the assumptions, a lot more conservative. I'm not going to assume that rates are going to 7, 8, 9, 10, 12%. So all I do is take what we have now and then work a little bit something into it to try to be conservative as I can.
Thank you, Noah.
Okay, come on up.
While you're coming up, I think that, sorry, I think I can kind of speak for the whole board, but I feel like we really, in considering this, really took the kids' education as a whole into consideration with this. And by making the high school a place that the kids can be proud of and excited to be, we think that they will really flourish even more. And having things that will touch every single kid, the new lockers, the new fields, the cafeterias, this is going to affect every single kid.
Hi, my name is Ronnie Levine. I am a retired Glen Cove teacher. I retired in 2008. I know there are a couple of other retired teachers probably in the audience. And I am also a 40-year resident of Glen Cove. My children graduated from Glen Cove. I have a grandchild now at Daisy School. So needless to say, I am very, very proud of this community, and my heart is deeply embedded in our school system. Just as a cheerleader, I'd like to say that having been in the buildings for a very, very long time, they have needed improvement forever. Aiden, as you said, I had the same thoughts walking around buildings. And it's time that we made those improvements, and safety first and foremost. God forbid, God forbid. My husband Chuck and I know people who have lost a child at a high school, and the thought of it ever happening here is unthinkable, really. So we have to do that, and I think that when we make these improvements and we know that our children are safe, at the same time improving the facilities so that they can be safe to go out and learn and play outside of the academic sphere, is part of their learning experience. It's part of building a whole person. Today I was walking at the tennis courts with my dog, and I didn't realize it was just before I think it was the varsity and junior varsity tennis team competition. And there were all these young, beautiful women, young women, getting ready and practicing, and their coaches, and I think there were two, one of whom I said hello to and introduced myself. These people were just so happy and ready to compete. I don't know how many, it looked like maybe 30, I don't know. But I know that there's going to be a middle school team coming up. These courts have been an abysmal mess for a very, very long time, and I'm very happy this has been included, as well as the parking lot, where tires can get really ruined. So I'm really thankful for that. That is great. Any and all improvements, my opinion, are welcome. I thank you all for your hard work in preparing this. So keep going, and I know that out in the community there will be many, many people who will support this. I hope that the messaging is going to be very, very, very basically clear, that people will come out and understand safety, safety, safety. I don't know how you're going to do all your messaging, but I think that has to be really well done. And then, of course, bring in, there are so many families involved in athletics, which is the rounding out part of our young people. So I hope that messaging is clear as well. Just a little bit of a question. In the presentation, there was a mention of the tax impact maybe changing over time. Can that be clarified? So, because when you put out the initial messaging, I hope you're going to include, what it would be for a year for a family to need to pay in taxes. I don't know.
So we would be messaging that whole piece where obviously there's a couple of years before there's any significant, any kind of tax impact.
Okay, that's good.
And then it would be coming into over time as we borrow the money. But again, that will be generated in any of the documentation that we send out, the communications.
Yeah.
But I also invite anyone in the community that has questions. We will put an email up so that they can ask questions online, as well as just call or visit the district office. We'll be more than happy to answer any questions people have. We want people to ask questions because we don't want misinformation. We want them to make their decision on clear, accurate information that we can provide them.
And there will be mail going out to the homes
Yes,
specifically?
there will be mailings as well.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you. While our next speaker is coming to the podium, I do want to say that our Assemblyman, Chuck Levine, gave us monies towards the science labs. Those monies are still available, and they will offset the cost, and that will be presented in our resolution next week, in 2 weeks. But thank you again for all your support over the years.
Hi. Corey Decker, 63 Robinson Avenue. One thing I want to mention is I think communication is key with all of this, and kind of the everyday stuff that all of you do and all the teachers do and everybody does, which is amazing stuff, in Glen Cove. And I'm not sure, what do we call our chair people? Coordinators?
Coordinators.
One thing that I've noticed, and I know there's a few here, is that lately there's a lot more information that I'm seeing, and I don't know if it's because, I finally joined Instagram or what it is, but I'm very appreciative of seeing reminders or messaging or, hey, did you know about this opportunity for your child? Or how about, you bring your kids down to the library for this or that. So whoever's doing it, keep it up because we're seeing it. And I think it's super important. And I think, when Newsday runs that page once a week about what's going on in the schools, the little blurbs, they're basically PR pieces. It's really, really nice, and it makes the kids and the community feel so amazing seeing Glen Cove, and hearing all the wonderful things going on here. So, I encourage, I don't know if it started with you or whomever, but to keep it going with, through the chair people, through the principals, et cetera, because it really, it warms my heart to see all these great things that are going on and to hear you representing, the future and handing over the torch to next year's group. It's really great stuff, and, I appreciate it.
Thank you, Mrs. Decker. And I have to say, I have a great administrative and instructional team in the district, from the teachers to the teacher assistants to all our administrators, coordinators. And yes, if you need to follow us, please follow us on Twitter. I'm going to plug in all our social media because a lot of information is going out. Things that are happening day after day that I think are important for parents, community members to see how students are actively involved in their learning. Thank you.
Hi, good night. My name is Carla Vasco. I'm here just 7 months ago. Maybe I understand the half of the conversation that you are going here tonight, but I speak Spanish, but I'm trying to develop my skills at home too. My family lives here like 6 years ago, but my brother doesn't have kids, and maybe he doesn't matter about the, taxes or wherever the money that he have goes. But I'm very interested because we make and invest in this city, thinking that maybe this would be will be good for my daughter. My daughter is now in high school, and I think that Doctora Angela Ranja said that will be good if each change that you made will be for the kids feels great day by day. I'm agree about the project, amazing project, because I see all the installations of the high school, but maybe when you finish that, my daughter is in college. And what can you do really for my daughter feels better at the school? And I think that you should make questions about that to people that is beginning the high school, because we come from Ecuador. In Ecuador, the schools are very different, I think so, but I think the education here is excellent too. But there are some things that could change for better, I think so, because there are a lot of culture in this city. I think that 60% in this city is Spanish, or persons that come from South America and Central America, and very different, and I don't see people here. I think you need inform more people about información. Somebody here speaks Spanish? No, so sorry. Okay.
Yes.
Yes, yeah. I think if I don't say a word, I please, yeah. I need that people need more information about the project. I think that people need to send information, because there are a lot of people doesn't have kids, but they pay taxes. Maybe they have ideas for the school. Because if you come to this town, you see around the town, but the town is not similar to Roslyn or Mahasset or Seacliff or everything, but you don't see stores. But what happens when people go to college and don't make planes, proyectos en la misma ciudad?
Dígame otra vez lo que quiere
¿Por
decir.
qué las personas que salen del college no
Why the
hacen
people that
proyectos
come
en
out
la
of the
misma ciudad?
college come out of the same city?
Yeah, when you see the city, you see a city empty. And you are, los chicos están creciendo para salir del pueblo.
Oh, that's all right. She's referring to the fact that our youth is growing up and leaving our city,
Yeah.
and she would like our youth to remain in the city and
Yeah.
give
And
back
I
to the
think,
community.
Yeah, and I think that when people is growing in a city, you expect that people create jobs for another people. I don't see that in Glencoe. It's a small city, but I think it could be great city, like the others. But I think that it's important work with the future. Work with the future is work with people that now está in beginning the high school, because they have other pensamientos,
Other thoughts.
Other thoughts.
other thoughts, not similar that you, maybe they don't know about the presupuesto.
Budget.
Yeah, they don't know about the budget, but they know about their feelings, and they want day by day. For example, the bathrooms, the bathrooms. My daughter said that she can go outside to feel the summer or the spring and the school. She's just in the cafeteria, and she can live on her own. And I don't know. I think that you could talk with the kids, because you are amazing, but you are leaving, and maybe you want. Hubieras querido que todo lo que estás viendo se hubiera pensado 10 years ago.
You would have liked that everything you're seeing would have been thought 10 years ago.
No, yeah, okay, I'm new here, but I'm very worried about my daughter and her feelings, because I think that she could have more options that me. I have good options in my country too, but I think that we can grow with the community because we are a lot of this in community that a lot of countries, different countries. If you are in New York, you hear talking from people from Greece, from Italy, Japan, and a lot of countries in just one vereda.
In one block.
Yeah, in one block, and this is amazing. I think you can unir, you can unite all cultures and ask what they need to. Yeah.
Thank you.
So perhaps instead of just our seniors providing us feedback, we can survey our freshmen and our sophomores as well.
Yeah, my daughter has 13 years old,
Oh,
she's beginning, but she say, Mom, in the school I think that could be better that, could be better that. And I think that could be better if these things are like a priority in your, I forgot it, budget. And the budget, I don't know. Just is an idea, but I am just a mother, and I want work for Glen Cove crezca, sea más
To grow.
productivo.
To grow, to
and
be
be more
more
productive.
Yeah,
productive.
como los otros pueblos around
Like the
here.
other towns around.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Más income, eso significa more money. Yeah.
I hope we see you again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so
for
much for
coming.
your comments. You were hearing the.
The
You do have a
translator, yes.
translator. That's who you're the male voice you're hearing over. I don't know where he is.
No, he's upstairs in the TV studio, and if somebody asks a question in Spanish, they can respond,
Right.
and it goes through our microphone. So it's great technology that our district has put together for that.
Right. So anybody if you're viewing, that's an option online to view. I don't know. Can we do that?
Yes, the
We can bring
link
that
is
back
online
live
in
too,
Spanish as well.
potentially, Right? Or is that? I mean, it's kind of tricky for him to be doing it in the room, but I mean, is that?
We can look at,
Yeah, because that might be good.
you can get it.
Yeah. Okay. Anybody else have questions or comments?
Are you Mr. Hudson, our principal, or Mr. Hudson, our community member today?
I am going to be.
I don't think you could get rid of either hat.
No, I think I got to wear both hats, so, or I'm still going to be bald, whether I'm Mr. Hudson, the principal, or the community member. So I just wanted to say thank you as a living here for 49 years, actually going to this high school, Aiden. I want to just commend the board, commend Dr. Rihanna, everyone in central administration, because I think it was said best that it's time. It's time. It really is time. I mean, Aiden, going back to, I love the fact that we have a student representative here on our Board of Education. But I will tell you, those science labs, probably some of our names, I won't tell you who, maybe some of our initials are probably still scratched in those tables. But I think it's time, and I guess the one thing I wanted to say for everyone is that our students deserve this, all right? It comes down to that. I'm a taxpayer. Obviously, I'll have to pay extra, but I think everything that was presented, and the last thing I just wanted, our students deserve this, and I think it's time to make a change and to give these kids, like Aiden, unfortunately, like the lady before, you're gone. But listen, Aiden, you can come back at 2 o'clock anytime you want next year. But how great would it be for students to come back here and see this as a place of excellence, of greatness, to where we can be proud. And that's what we represent. Everything, for those who spoke, you know, we put out tweets and it always says Glen Cove Pride, GC Pride, make the impact. And this is the time. The time is now to do this and have that impact. All right, and I'll hand the mic back over to you.
Thank you, Mr. Hudson.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other comments or questions from the public before we move on? Okay.
Okay.
We'll move on then. Okay, the instructional report.
Based on the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, I ask the board to approve agenda item 6, instructional report A, Committee on Special Education, and C, adoption of district goals.
Can I get a motion? Ann and Megan? Any discussion, questions? All in favor? Okay, that's 6. Okay, business affairs. Victoria?
Upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, a motion is requested for the approval of agenda item 7, business affairs B, 1 through 7.
Can I get a motion? Angela and Lynn? Any questions? All in favor? I see 6. Okay.
Based upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, I ask the board to approve agenda item 8, personnel certified, 1 through 11.
Can I get a motion? Ann and Megan? Any questions? All in favor? Okay, that's 6.
And based upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, I ask the board to approve item 8, personnel be classified, 1 through 9.
Can I get a motion? Angela and Megan? Questions? All in favor? That's 6. Okay, wait, what?
I'd just like to take a moment, as you have approved the resolution to accept for purposes of retirement the resignation of one of our teachers, Catherine Caulfield, a reading teacher in the middle school who has given many, many years of service. We'd like to thank her as well.
All right, where does that leave us here? Unfinished business. I don't think we have any. New business. No takers, okay. Any board comments? Oh, okay. Ann?
I just wanted to take a moment to congratulate one of our high school students who walked the runway at the Global Citizen Festival, Natalia Mansali. I hope I said her name right. So I just wanted to congratulate her. I think that is so wonderful. So I just wanted to take a moment just to congratulate her, so thank you.
Go ahead, Angela.
On behalf of the Board of Education, I'd like to congratulate Maria Venuto for being named a member of the Executive Committee of the Nassau-Suffolk School Board Association. She was nominated by Dr. Rihanna, and it's a positive reflection on the Glen Cove schools, and we are very proud of her, and we know she'll be great at it.
I agree.
You.
I agree.
I didn't expect you to say
Actually,
anything. Thank you.
I was called by the executive director. He indicated that there was an opening on the Nassau-Suffolk School Boards Association Executive Committee, and he asked me if I had anyone that I would recommend that met the qualifications and supported our schools, our public schools, and specifically Glen Cove. Sorry, I had to give them your name, but I'm sure that, and Maria has already gone to one of the meetings last Thursday night with me. I know it's a late night sometimes, but it really will impact our district in a very positive light, and I thank you for giving your time to this endeavor.
Thank you. I appreciate you, suggesting me and that they accepted me, because I think it's a really great place for us to be represented. I don't know, how long it's been, if we've ever had anybody as part of that, but there's a lot of other, neighboring districts that take part in it, and it's a great place for just information sharing and resource sharing, and I'm just happy to be representing Glen Cove. Anybody else have anything they want to? Ann, go ahead.
Sorry, I want to apologize. Lawrence, I should have said this before. I want to thank you very much for that presentation that you did. If anybody knows me, knows that I love dance. Mr. Hudson definitely does know. So I just want to thank you so much for bringing all of this positivity, all of these great programs into our district. I think it's wonderful. Would it be possible, can we just get those dates of when they're coming to the schools? Because, maybe some board members can be allowed to come and learn a little bit.
Oh, I'm not going to be able to stop this one, Lawrence, but I will get them the dates in their board update. And as we're speaking, if I can, could the coordinators that are here stand, please? All of you? So I have science standing here, and English, and social studies, and fine arts, and Corey is our coordinator for technology. I know our math couldn't make it tonight, but they have all been working together. So as Lawrence has begun the Hispanic Heritage, all of the other coordinators work together to provide resources to teachers in each of their area so that we highlight this in the instruction that's going on this coming month. I want to thank Alexa Doshner, our assistant superintendent, working together to enhance our students' knowledge base and experiences on multiple levels, even if it means doing the cha-cha. But I think it's a great way to understand the culture and really give acknowledgement to all of you as you're working together to do so. Thank you so much.
Any other comments from the board? Okay. So we have another public participation session. If anybody else wants to come up and comment, or if you have any questions about anything at all, come up and sign in with Teresa. Oh, okay. I guess we are going to adjourn then. Can I get a motion? Anne and Angela, all in favor? That's 6. Thanks very much. I appreciate your attendance, and thanks very much to Glen Cove TV and the students who volunteered their time tonight to record our meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Aiden. Did a great job.